Today we're doing skill review day 5. The objective is to subtract two two-digit numbers without regrouping. Last week we were working on addition, now we're moving on to some subtraction. The materials needed for today are your online whiteboard or your whiteboard dry erase marker and dry eraser. And we're going to follow the teaching style where I do it, we do it together, and then you do it on your own. First, I'm going to start with an example. As you can see, I have my hundreds chart that we've been using the last week. I'm going to label my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. The first thing I'm going to do in this subtraction equation is I'm going to draw my first number, which you can see is 53. 53 has 5 tens and 3 ones. So I'm going to draw 5 tens and 3 ones. Now here's where it's a little bit different than what we do with addition. When we're subtracting, we don't want to add on the second number. We don't want to draw that on because that would be adding it. Instead, we need to take that number away. Step 1 is start in the ones. So I'm going to look in the ones place, and there's a 1. I'm going to come over to my ones column and cross out 1, 1. Next, I look in the tens place, and in the tens place, I also have a 1. I'm going to go in my tens column and cross out 1, 10. Okay, so I ended up taking away 11, and you can see that here's 10, 11. Okay, that's what I took away or crossed out. Now all I need to do is count. I'm going to start in the ones and see what's left. 1, 2. And in the tens, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 53 minus 11 equals 42. Okay, next I'm going to have you do an example with me. So I want you to start by drawing your place value chart. Label your hundreds, tens, and ones. I'll give you just a moment to get that up and ready before we start drawing our first number. Okay, so our first number is 29. There's 2 tens and 9 ones. So we need to draw 2 tens in the tens place and 9 ones in the ones place. I'll give you just a moment to make sure your drawing matches mine before we start subtracting. Okay, the number we're subtracting is 18. Step 1 is start in the ones place. In the ones place, I have an 8. So I need to cross off 8 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next, I look in the tens place. There's a 1, so I'm going to cross off 1, 10. There's my 1, 10. So all together, we subtracted or crossed off 18, and you can see here's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We crossed off 18. Now all that's left is to count what's left. Over here in the ones, we have 1, Over here in the tens, we have 1. So 29 minus 18 equals 11. Okay, let's go ahead and try that again. Erase your whiteboards. Go ahead and draw a new place value chart with your hundreds, tens, and ones. Now let's go ahead and have you draw the first number. 3 tens, 3 ones. I'll give you a moment to draw that, and then we'll see if your answer matches mine. Okay, you should have drawn 3 tens and 3 ones. Go ahead and make sure your picture matches mine before we start subtracting. We're subtracting 13. Step 1 is starting the ones, so first you need to cross out 3 ones. Go ahead and do that on your whiteboard. And then you can see there's a 1 in the tens place. Go ahead and cross off 1 10. I'll give you just a moment to cross off your 13, and then we'll see if your answer matches mine. Okay, so we crossed off 3 ones. Then we crossed off 1 10. Make sure your drawing matches mine. Go ahead and count what you have in the ones, what you have in the tens, and then we'll see if your answer matches mine. Okay, in the ones I had 0 left. In the tens I have 2 left, which means 33 minus 13 equals 20. Okay, go ahead and erase those whiteboards. We have one more example we're going to try together. So draw your place value chart with your hundreds, tens, and ones. And then I want you to get a start ahead of me and draw your 84. So don't wait for me. Go ahead and get that 84 drawn. Okay, by now you should have your 84 drawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 4 ones. Now what I want you to do is subtract 41. Remember to start in the ones place and then the tens. Go ahead and take away your 41 and write down that answer when you have it ready. Okay, let's go ahead and see if your answer matches mine. I had a 1 in the ones place, so I'm going to cross out 1. I have a 4 in the tens place, so I'm going to cross out 4. And count what's left. In the ones, I have 3 left. In the tens, I have 4 left. So 84 minus 41 equals 43. Okay, go ahead and erase those whiteboards. Let's take a look at what you're going to be working on for IXL. It'll be skill H5, subtract 2 two-digit numbers without regrouping. Now, here is one thing I want you to pay attention to. As you are solving this, you're going to want to use your whiteboard to draw your place value chart. But I want you to keep in mind that when the cursor or your mouse pops up, it starts right here in the ones, and it has you enter that number first, because when we do subtracting, we always start in the ones. So I just want you to make sure when you're typing your number, you're not going to be typing the tens and then the ones. The ones is going to be first, and then the tens, okay? Unless you click right into the 10 spot. So just make sure on the first few problems that you watch where you're typing, okay? Pay attention to that to make sure you type in the correct answer, okay? If you look at this example we have in front of us right now, 74 minus 13, they start in the ones with 4 dots, and they'll take away 3, which is going to leave us with 1. If you were drawing your place value chart in the tens, you would have drawn 7 tens and then crossed out 3, and that would have left you with 4. So when you type in your answer, you'll type it like that, the 1 and then the 4. Okay, go ahead and get started.